Oh my gosh, it's Killboy Gaming, the Killboy Gaming, or is it the Killboy Gaming? Can you hear me? Am I here? Oh, I'm here. Okay. Last time I somehow missed the mute button. How you doing tonight, Killboy? Where's my? Oh, there it is. I hear ya. Oh, I hear you. All right. It's another beautiful Saturday. Beautiful indeed. That I worked most of the day. Oh, my back though. But you might appreciate this, Killboy. I'm having some massive back issues today. Major, like, I'm taking the serious painkillers. Well, not that serious. It's like more ibuprofen than you're normally supposed to take as a regular adult. But it's okay. I'll survive. Or I'll die. I mean, one way or another, you know, it'll all work out. I forgot to take my ibuprofen, actually. Make sure we keep it running through the blood, man. Get all that inflammation down. I forgot my water bottle. My water glass. Okay. If anyone else shows up, Killboy, just tell them I'm running to get my... Wait, actually, maybe I should get my wife to bring the water. No, I'll go get it I'll get it real quick. Okay. Just tell everybody that I'm getting water unless... Hey, Composy. Ah, she knew or she heard me. Killboy's here. My back has been doing better since the VA sent me to a chiropractor. Yeah. I tried chiropractors. They didn't always do the best for me. The best thing I found was doing a specific type of yoga. Helps me the most. I mean, like, ridiculously the most. Like, if I do a proper amount of the yoga in a night, even when my back is really bad, it'll immediately reduce the problem. And it's not like the strengthening yoga, you know, where you have to like hold a pose and keep all the muscles tight. It's actually a yoga that's designed for relaxation, but like relaxing the muscles around the parts of your body that are tense, causing the pain. Also, apparently I have a new look from my last stream. Hopefully you'll be ready for this. I'm not sure how you'll feel about it. But here's my new style. Gamer Matzi coder. Because I'm a gamer and a coder. So I've got my PAX gaming glasses. You know that? I can't really. And it makes me cool. I hear all the kids these days, they wear gaming glasses. And the gaming glasses make them cooler. Therefore, I'm cool now. That's pretty much how it works from my understanding. I haven't really actually checked with the actual cool kids. But I'm going to just assume that they would be like, Matzi, yeah, that's what cool looks like. I'm like, that's great. I appreciate it. And tonight, as I have stated previously, I'm continuing my journey on not working on Alterium Shift. Although I will post the link in the chat just for the fun of it. I did work on Tuesday on Alterium Shift, but tonight I'm working on RPG in the Box again. You know, because why not? More digestible of something to look at. Hey, Laser. I love the glasses. How's it going? I just got started. How you doing? How you doing? That was funny when I made all those things. You know, whatever I did to them. Oh, I made them. These are like objects that use physics. Physics. This is really gonna be a struggle for me. There's a wire. You guys can't see it, but where my mouse is, if I were to like trace what the wire is blocking, it's like blocking all of that stuff. Exactly where the tools are. Anyway, Killboy, how are you? What have you been doing? How's your game going? You still working on the platformer, or did you switch gears? Something else. All right. So, my plan tonight, what I want to do is investigate this concept of fun, i.e., what makes a game fun? Sure, it's the age-old question everybody wants to know. Football season right now, so coaching is eating up most of my time. Speaking of eating things up, there is a monster in this game that tries to eat you. See? So this is very relevant. Very well, just working on game dev. Yeah, how's your game going? Hopefully it's hopefully you're burning rubber on it. I don't know. So let me think here. What was I gonna do? I was saying words. Oh, first I was gonna turn off the physics on this thing because I don't really. The physics was interesting, but it doesn't really do anything useful. So for the moment, I'm going to unphysical it. Let's get physical. Except I don't remember where the setting was. Where's the setting? Scripts, thingies, animations. Ah, physics. There you go. So, what makes a game fun? When I was testing this last week, I felt like it just... I mean, I know I'm just now getting some of the components together. But still, with that said, it doesn't feel fun. Oh, whoa. I didn't realize the fog of war... Oh, that's funny. There's a fog of war, but you can't see the... I turned on fog of war last time and it wasn't working. I guess I just needed to like quit and reopen it or something. That's hilarious. Now I have to go see what else I can do with fog of war. Because now I'm super curious about it. Where's fog of war? Distance. 10. I wonder why it wasn't showing before. That's so weird. We're gonna try again. Oh, okay, so... Oh my gosh. Ah! Come on, why? E to interact. I guess I have to use E on my keyboard. I find it interesting that it doesn't work for the... Oh my gosh. I mean, it's interesting, right? I guess it's kind of interesting not to be able to see what's coming until you get there. Ah! But the way the fog of war works, it feels very jerky and weird. Distance permanent. On or off. What if I make it like 12? I did not intend to mess with this, but now I'm super curious about it. Last time I was testing it didn't show, so it's weird that it's showing now. It must have just required me to quit the whole app. What is that little thing on top of there? Okay, I gotta go. Okay. Okay, hold on. We'll do this. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if the fog of war really... I could get the same effect by doing a reverse version of the thing that's chasing me. It's interesting. I don't know if I would want to use it normally. Ah! Okay. My X-Real smart glasses. Ooh. Are they, are things getting real around you? Because they're X-Real? Have you been wearing them all day? Does it like give you, does it tell you who you're looking at? It's real? Extra real? What is... Oh, did I somehow put a tree? That's so funny. I'm not sure how I managed that. Haven't taken it out of packaging yet. Yeah. You know what's weird? You're nervous. I thought you were saying you're having a nervous breakdown. It's like, oh, I could get that. Um, Something I find funny. As I've gotten older, I'll get something delivered that's like important or valuable. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I won't open it for like a day. When I got the Steam Deck that I have, I know some people are like, oh, I got to open it up and start playing games. I'm like, oh, I'll get to it. It's just like, whatever. I'll open it at some point. Although opening things these days, the thing is that they take work. I remember being so excited to get laptops, for instance, when I was younger. But then you got to open it, you got to set it up. And I do this calculation like, I don't have time for that right now. I'm not good. Anyway, I'm trying to find out how to make this fun. One thing that doesn't feel fun to me is having to press a button to open a door. If I'm going to do a running type of game, I kind of want the character's movement to be the thing that causes something to happen. If I have to push a button, I feel like I'm already losing some of that sort of idea of a fun running type of game. The only reason I was trying the button is because with these doors I have so far, you run into them, they open immediately, which I also don't like. I want to make sure my GPS app works on my phone before I take the glasses out of the packaging. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. That's the whole reason I wanted the glasses to begin with. I mean, you could have tried it on your phone before you bought the glasses. Okay. So there's two components that I want to try to see if I can make this game feel fun. I don't like pushing the button to open the door. I think that would get really annoying. So I'm going to turn that capability off. And then I'm going to work on the feeling of the thing chasing me. I want the glasses. Okay. Do you wear regular glasses? Or are these like, maybe these prescription glasses? Or are they going to be just for the feel of the lens? We had script. Is it script? Yeah. Trigger when the character interacts. This is what it's like when characters collide. Okay, so I think I've made that joke every stream now. We're going to make these collidable. I suppose you could do something where like the key requires interaction, but that seems backwards. You already have to get a key, so I don't really think that. I don't think that's better. I do have to replace these doors though. I think I have to replace them. Actually, let me find it. You don't need them, but you want them. I mean, you know. Yeah, this is so weird. Like, I did replace the door. I did. Or the functionality, but I have to go and literally delete it and replace it. It'd be so annoying if you have just built the whole map and decide you want to change something about an object. And now you got to go back and change it everywhere. You need them to watch movies at work. You got it like playing in the corner while you're working. My daughter does that with her iPad. She'll work on art or something and have a little, like the little picture-in-picture. She does exactly what I wish I could have done when I was a kid. Because it was my belief that if I had something like that, I would be able to get more work done. I don't think I would have been able to. Wait, I thought I changed the interactability of these things. Okay. Character collides. Is it? So changing that flag does not trigger the thing as being savable? That seems stupid. But toggling something else does. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so I'll go back to checking my theory then and seeing if I can leave it there. So it doesn't detect changing that drop down as a change. Again, not the bash an RPG in the box or anything, but oh my god, come on. They have a new update coming out soon. Right before I started streaming, I saw a little video on it, but the update hasn't been released yet. It looks kind of neat. OMG! How are ya? No, so it didn't change. Super, thank you. I'm back on Twitter, and I'm hoping to build a Steam page. Development's been steady, ran into design-related dilemma, but I'm excited to tackle it. Yeah, are you going to pay the $100 for the Steam page? I mean, it's not that bad. $100, yeah, you know, little savings. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'll wishlist it once you get it there. You just, you know, send me the good word. Game's been in development for at least as long as my game. I am, and thank you. What's your design challenge? Or, well, I know some of that's hard to type, so if it's too much of a question to answer, don't worry about it. Okay, so now I'm really confused. I have changed the setting on this, but it refuses to change. Oh, I see. That's the real problem. Which, again, I'm not gonna go into it. Just gonna change the setting, move on with my life. Okay. Yeah, this works. I know I keep testing the same thing, but I do want to make sure if I change something like that, will it change it on the map or not? And I wish it would change it on the map, but I guess it doesn't. I was just hoping it was since it's an interactive event, it would change it, but it does not. Gotta make sure this works. So what I'm gonna do first, my first theory about trying to make this fun is that the pacing of the thing that chases you needs to be different. It can't be a steady push. If you get no break from it, then it's sort of like this, if you're not fast enough, that's it. You kind of get this fatigue, right? Like you feel like you'll never get ahead of it. Because I could make the character faster, but you're going to either be too far ahead of it or you'll never get away, right? The first thing we need to figure out is how do we make this thing have a pacing? And my thought would be that I could actually section the game up, the levels up. Like each of these things, whether it's a horizontal line or whatever, will like slow down the blob as it goes through. So essentially there'll be a series of walls, and when it hits a wall, it slows down. Don't know how to do that yet. What I'm curious is about this zones thing. So I'm gonna see what this, well, you know what could I do? The problem with zones is that it would require me to add them all over the place, which I don't really want to do. Hey, Tunic. No. Yes, I was just talking about you. I did tell you, if you'd like to see the way I did my database in Alterium Shift, I can pull that up and show you. It'll be sort of a tangent from what I'm doing now, but I did tell you I would show it to you, so I'm happy to do that, if that's what you're here for. then I can pull it up, I can whip it out, and shove it in your face. So Tunic and I chatted a little bit this week about data storage in video games. So this is my little pause from messing around with RPG in a Box to talk about database stuff. Now, if Tunic doesn't respond in a few seconds or so saying, yes, Motzi, that's what I wanted, please show me, I may not show it because I don't want to start showing it. Tunic's like, oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. You have to know Tunic is really here. I see the laughter, so I assume that means yes. I'll interpret the laughter as a yes. So it's fine. I'm high and in bed. Is that good? Is that you saying, I'm so happy that you're going to show me databases, and the one thing I like to look at when I'm high is how data worked in code? Or is it, I don't give a flip, I'm high and I'm vibing and I'm going to pass out? I'm trying to read between the lines here. Would sober Tunic regret their decision? Okay, well, I'll run it through real quick. I won't take too long on this. So Tunic and I were talking about data management and serialization. In Unity, when you serialize an object like a scriptable object, it creates a file for that object. Right, over here. And they call them asset files. Like, don't show it. I'll be okay, man. No, now I have to show it. I'm here. I've gone this way. The people have spoken. This has nothing to do with what I'm going to show. So Tunic, for their game, Robodome, they have he him. Here he him has a need to save the state of the game as you're going. My reply became lengthy. I'll send you some. Let me explain. No time to explain. Let me sum up. Was it like explain will take too long? Let me sum up. I don't remember the exact quote. So, one problem that you have in a game is that there's this save state where you want to save the game for the characters and whatever. And then there's the scriptable objects that are like these serialized objects for your configuration. They're two different things, right? A serialized object, and one of my simplest ideas, like things, is like there's this system configuration serialized object that I use for all the different, flags that we turn on and off, right? System configuration is a scriptable object. Hey, it's Tom Sutton. I tried to write Beheta in the chat with a joke and it got automated. Beheta? Beta got automated? The word beta got automated? No way. Oh yeah, I got a delay too. Let me look at. Well, my streaming rate seems okay. I'm at the normal rate. Big stream delay. Oh, I see. You got the delay. Only a beta like you would get Anyway, so suffice to say, there's serialized objects, there's data storage. And I was going to answer the question, how do I do that in this game? Because we have the concept of a game database. All these things are what's called scriptable objects. It stores the serialized data. It has things like the story. These are the different books, for instance, or these are different items and stuff like that. So all this stuff has information stored in the game, but we also have information we have to save. And the save data is different than the scriptable data. Now, Tunic is making a game where there needs to be some kind of slight mixing of the two, because when debugging, they want to be able to look at the settings of the current save state, and the save state is really not meant to have multiple save files. It's like you're playing your game, it's just saving where you were at during your run. So I was going to show Tunic how I do it in the back end. That didn't sound right, but I'm going to roll with it. I was going to show Tunic how it works for us in our back end, because it's slightly better. Because we have two different ways that we have to get data, right? I have this big old object called a game database. So in Unity, there's a resources folder that they tell you never to use. And the resources folder, I believe, loads all that data into ROM. Probably ROM, read-only memory. Well, RAM, but it's basically read-only at runtime of your game. I guess it's not read-only. I think you can change the settings too. But they will get reset when the game restarts or whatever. So there's the read-only objects that go into the resources, and then here's my concept of this database, right? This database is a giant scriptable object. And I actually have it right here, because the way that Unity, besides using their stupid addressables thing, the way they recommend storing data that you're going to want to access is by shoving an object into a scene, and then when the scene loads, that information will be available. In this case, we have one scene that's in every single, like this scene is long-lived, so that never goes away. So I can put an object in there like a database, and everything will be there. So you can see this database has every possible object that I might have to possibly open or use or whatever. Funny enough, it still doesn't use a lot of memory, because most of it's just string data or variables and things like that. So it's not really using a ton of memory, although it is really annoying. I have to have this gigantic object. And so the way that I use those scriptable objects, though, like when I'm doing my editing of the game, is I have to store all this crap into my data object type, so my database knows the type of objects that it can load. You can see here, like map data. I just prefix everything with game except for story graph because that was a different object I added to my database. It wasn't actually one of these standard ones I was creating. And then I have all these different methods to treat it like I'm using C#'s entity framework, basically. So I basically made my own entity framework because the way Unity works, and we're not using a SQL database because we need scriptable objects because the way objects work, and and so when I'm at runtime and I'm trying to get some kind of object from the database, I just use this get records method, and I use generics in my case. So I know when Tunic and I were talking, Tunic has something that says get an item from the database, and the name of the methods are get item blah, whatever. It's just like get database item, and then if there's a different thing like weapons, I presume there's like a get weapon method. And I started to go down that path originally, but I'm like, I don't know what type of objects I'm going to have, so I'm going to learn all about using generics, and I'm going to set it up so it's just using generics for all of this. It is less efficient, but I'm not constantly loading these objects, so it's not, any performance disadvantage is minimal because it's a RPG. But anyway, I'll use this get records method. I'm going to use it all over the place. If you see, let me see, what would be a good place to show? Like the play audio command, right? I'm going to get the sound effect. I'll get all the records. Well, this is actually an editor-based method. So in the editor, in my little node-based system, I might need to get a list of sound effects. And so I'll go to the database and say, get records, and give me all the sound effect records. And then I'll turn them into a drop-down that I can use. In-game, I might have to do something like get record, and then I have a GUID reference for it, and then it retrieves the object based on that ID. I know that game objects in Unity have GUIDs, but I made my own. So I have this like base object called a game data object. This is the thing that represents stuff that goes into the database, and it automatically handles saving it into a folder in my file system. Because, Unity makes you make your own database. It's like me like salivating over a SQL database, and Unity's like, we have database at home, and the database is a file system. This is the database right here, right? All these stupid objects. We have our database at home. So, I have a ton of data in this application. And so I needed a way to do it all consistently. So I'm high leveling it right now, but basically that's how I ended up doing it. I have a game database. I have a method to store things into the database using generics. So as long as everything is, implement, or in this case, I'm not using a interface. I'm using a concrete class. There you go. Yours looks better, but I think we'll functionally be doing the same thing now. Well, your game has less to worry about from a data perspective. But this is how I deal with all the scriptable objects. And there's one little fun fact about Unity. Unity can't serialize interfaces or abstract classes. So every time I start down the path of saying, oh, I'll just make an interface, can't do it because a class is, in order to serialize something, it's got to be a concrete implemented class. So standard practices in development don't always work with Unity, which is super annoying. I know you keep talking about Unity Analytics too. Anyway, hi Tom. Cops, when their coworker sends them a funny email, but to take a screenshot, they have to hit F12. Original joke. Cops, when their coworker. Don't know what that means. Anyway, so F12. I understand that maybe you're saying F is like the F word. Saying that doesn't make it any easier for me. What is 12? And then 12. They have to hit F 12 times? What is slang? What is... Oh, it's an inside joke. Okay. Where police are going. Not very funny, Gavin. I get where you're going with it. It's just I didn't resonate. Not looking forward to it. It needs to be done. I don't know. The analytics doesn't seem too bad, to be honest, but I haven't tried it. Anyhoozle. The only other thing I was going to show you is sort of the Smile Game Builder system. So Smile Game Builder has this system data right here. And this system data is, I think I told you, is just basically like a whole crap load of values shoved into an array. So the way the save data works, like in the save system, it just puts values in this tuple-based dictionary. And when it saves, it serializes it. And it doesn't, so the great part about this is it doesn't matter what your save data format looks like, because they're just arrays, and then however big the array is, it just makes the data bigger, essentially. So there's no concrete structure, so there's nothing to break. As long as you're using these variables and switches and all that stuff, then you never have to worry about the format of the save state. The only thing you'd have to worry about is if you change something about an object GUID and you later try and access it, like if the GUID changes, you won't have access to the data. (10:12), it means there's a police on the scene. There's a reference to Adam 12, which was a cop show. Okay. So anyway, so I find this really interesting instead of trying to make like all these data structures for save files. And if you use like a JSON format and you have a specific structure to your format where you name the things that are being saved, then your save file would be more brittle. But these save files are actually quite robust because we're not using anything other than this information. So yes, I do a lot more work to get information into those switches and variables, but I have a fair level of assurance that other than maybe potentially losing some data if I change something about what's being stored in them, I'm not going to break the save file. So the save files transfer. Who is a JSON format? Your face is a JSON format. Anyhow, that was the brief on our data saving system. It's a lot more complicated, but I was telling Tunic that because of my background, data is fun. It's not fun, but it's not bad for me to work with. Right? I don't shy away from working with data. I've done it so much in my career that I know how to deal with it. It's not my favorite thing to do, but it's definitely not as scary as it seems. But I also like making really complicated solutions for things, so it's also partially just me. But speaking of fun, I was trying to figure out how to make this game fun. So I had another idea. So what I'm thinking of doing is this little runner thing. I wanted to move until it hits this, and then I wanted to slow down for a period of time. And I'll have like a cooldown or something where like it'll hit it once, or maybe I want to do a test just to see like if it hits it once, does it keep counting it like it's hitting it? I've really got to figure out if tiles can react to being hit. So we'll just take this little knob right here and see if we can figure this out. I think that's the full object. So no problem on the tangent. Hopefully you'll remember some of it. Okay. So character enters tile. Character stops on tile. I don't know if any of these will happen actually. So character enters tile. No, object enters tile. Object enters? No, character enters tile? Try that one. So we're just going to do a quick script. Display message. It entered me. That's appropriate, right? Perfectly fine. We're talking about the object. It's going to enter the tile. I don't know why the saving isn't working. Okay. So if this works, then I have a method which I can trigger actions. So what I'm thinking is like probably the simplest way is every section, the blob or whatever that is, it's going to speed up faster and faster. And then it's going to hit one of these walls and it'll slow down. And so when I make sections of the map where there's smaller areas, it'll take longer for it to get to you. But if it's a longer area, the intensity will increase over time, right? At least that's my theory. It's just a theory, a voxel theory. I want to be able to see if it hit. No, it didn't hit. Okay. So that's partly a problem. So this won't do it for me, unfortunately. So let's see if we can make it. Maybe it's this thing I need to have a script. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. So let's make a different object. We'll just put like a random tree or something behind here and see if this will work. Because I think objects can trigger when something collides with it, but tiles can only trigger if it's like something's on it or something. So when a character collides, we are going to do a quick script. I was collided. I'm good at tangents. I mean, it's my skill. Hey, Sorrow. What's up, yo-o? How goes the work-life balance? I prefer cosines. Yeah, I don't like cosines or tangents. Sines, though? You got me all going like this, you know what I'm saying? Sign me up, you know what I'm saying? Alright, let's see if it hits. Ah! It didn't do it. Damn it. So I wonder if it's not considered... Maybe it's not considered a hittable spot? Or maybe these can't trigger... I could put something here. It should... You know, there should be one of these things that it hits, right? There should be. Because it should collide. Maybe. Or I could do it like anytime it hits anything. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah. I mean, it is a character. So we'll do like... Right. Right. Put. Cosecant. A tan. I don't really like having a tan. So, not my thing. I still remember how my brother would go tan in the sun. Like, why? Why would you do that? For the girls, man. Like, I mean, I do like girls, but don't like sitting out in the sun and burning. Too much work. sitting around the sun. All right, let's see this work. This doesn't work. I have to figure out a different option. Okay, so apparently it's not triggered. Oh wait, hold on. I missed a valuable... See, this is the problem with the triggerable by NPCs. Okay, there's a little thing that blocks my camera. Okay, so if I make this triggerable... if I click this button, it might work. We'll do this one too and see if this works. I don't really care what I put there right now. I just want to see if it works. And I'm intrigued by the idea that anything it runs into could slow it down. But I think that that's going to be less ideal, in my opinion. In my professional opinion. No, nothing did it anyway, though. It still didn't trigger. Fudge. Do I have to make this be an NPC? Can I call it an NPC? No. Passable. Off. Block site. The Default behavior standard. Sure. I don't see any setting that makes it an NPC. I mean, it should be considered NPC because it's an object, as a character. It's a moving character. Let's see if we can reverse and make this thing trigger when it runs into something. When player corrides. When next to player, when player interacts on death. Player interact. Reaction to obstacle. Movement direction is random. Let's say forward. Reaction to obstacle run script. Let's see this works. They don't have quick script here. Everything else has quick scripts, but not this one. Let me tell you what. If you're gonna make an engine, you gotta try to have some consistency. Speaking of analytics, I'm actually working on an easy way for me to debug. Ooh, 3D space. Can you debug the world around you? Are you gonna become pest control? I'm hilarious. Entire buildings. Automate your testing to the world. Display message. Lighted. All right, so if we go back here, SB2 blob collides. Let's try this. I'm not sure how the edges work, so it might be considering the entire thing a collision, but you know. I'll be happy if I can get it to just freaking print something. Maybe display message doesn't go on the console? Maybe that's the real problem. Maybe it needs to be just print or something. I mean, it's not displaying a message anyway, so I doubt that's what the real issue is. Otherwise, it would at least be showing a message on the screen. Excuse me. The problem we're going to run into, if the basic collision concept doesn't work, I don't know how we're supposed to make interesting things happen. I could make it so if when you go through this door as a player, it would slow the blob down. But I think that the problem with that is then it makes you in full control of the blob. So if you're fast enough, you would just make it go slow all the time. Like you'd keep hitting these doors and like resetting its speed. And I really want it to be based on like the blob's movement through the level rather than character control. On death. When player collides. I'm gonna just move this over. I'm kind of sick of not being able to read what's in here. Thingies. The scale is 1, 1. This is just the size of the object. Does the object itself have something? Attack, movement, cooldown, collision override, none. So it should be using its block as a collision. Size and tiles. This could be part of it, but it should still hit something. Block site, passable is off. There's not really anything interesting there. Okay. We'll see what happens when we play it again. Could just be that I had to use print. Nope. Not really. 1, 2, 2 prints are here before you. What I said now. Okay, so this is not working. And I'm sad. What if I put a collider on the entire object? I'm a collider. I'm a collider. Collision override. Add ourselves a cube. Hey, that's good. We'll do that. Let's call that the collider. Maybe that'll work. I mean, it certainly is able to hit the player. Oh, but I'm going to have to re-add it to the map, aren't I? So this has a death. It's called death. We'll just remove death and add death. Call it death all over again. No movement interval. None. Movement direction? None. Player interest? None. It does seem like this should still interact. I mean, there's code. Character collides. Triggerable by NPCs. Triggerable. Triggable. How are you, Mr. Sutton? As the kids say. Oh my gosh, it's coming for me. Going for a ride. That's actually kind of funny. Ah, it's got me! Oh, just eating Tom dinner. Oh no, it got me. No, don't push me. No, please no. What if the game was, instead of being a game where you run, what if it was just a game where you like, oh man, it didn't like that at all. Look how much it's struggling to get you through the trees. It's kind of funny. If it can't push you through something. Oh no! No, don't push me off! It's weird that it lags so much when trying to push you through the wall. Because there's supposed to be a trigger that if it interacts with the player. Like SP to death. There it is. They had something else in here. Spirit? No. It'd be funny if it starts shooting at you. When next to player, when player collides on death, can trigger. Oh. So not only do I have to have these things be able to trigger, this has to trigger. I guess that makes sense. Maybe that was the problem. Have to learn how to use the tools, Monty. You gotta mess with the non-obvious solutions. Still not working. So sad about that. I mean, I even checked the can trigger script box. Look at that. I checked it. Wait, where is it? Right there. Can trigger scripts on. Any other setting I need to set here? Character collides. Character interact. So it's just not capable. So that would mean that I might need to use zones. Poke myself in my eye with my glasses too. That would be smart. Zones, huh? Get in the zone. The Motzi zone. What if I make this tile trigger an event? I could do a character enters tile, do a quick script, and say, hey, you entered me. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it happened. Let's go, Blorpy. Let's get our Blorp on. Come back here. Why is it not? Here. Not without my permission. Little Fifth Element going on there. All right. Did anyone get entered? Hey, you entered me. Okay. So, oh, it did. It got entered. So that means it's using the center for its enter. It's more like a enter. I suspect that that's what it's doing. I think that it, so I can get it to be considered entered, but I can't get it to trigger character collision scripts, which is weird. Make an object pushable. What happened there? I can't make it, but so let's see if I put something here. Like, what I'm curious about is it a discrete spot that it must hit, like the very center of the object? I'm guessing it is, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Okay. Did the thing enter the thing? Question mark. Validate. So I don't think that's gonna work. The other thing I want to do, since I'm here, is try not to sneeze. Try not to burp. Didn't work. See if I make this pushable. Because now I'm just curious. Because I like the idea that part of the fun of the game might be some really fast puzzles that you have to make your way through, right? All right, let's get entered. But okay, I can't. Oh my god, it's coming for me. Okay, so it's 100% clear that the entering happens only in the center. The entering happens on the centering. Okay. So what? Self would be the tile. What if there's a enter? Pushing. So pushing requires. I don't know if pushing will work for free movement. File type, groups, characters, interaction. I think it's a behavior, actually. Is it a behavior? What do they call it? If we're on the map, it's called... No, it's just scripts. Okay. I don't see documentation on the script there. You think they'd have some information about the script, right? Trigger? Maybe we'll look for the trigger. I think they would. Set entity script. Trigger type. Just... I appreciate that at least there's like a trigger type. Set zone script. Okay, so maybe we will use zones. If a zone solves this problem, I'm going to use a zone. Get in the zone. Phase 1. Passable, yes. I don't know where my zone is. Position. It'd be cool if you could do like highlight and then make the position the thing you highlighted. I don't think that's possible, but yeah, basically to do this, I would have to find a coordinate. So -2, 46, and 0. -2, 460. Okay. There's our zone, right? And then we'll make the size bigger. Nope. That's not. And then we'll move it over. It's an incredibly intuitive way to deal with things that you want to place on the map. Probably like the most intuitive method I've ever seen. Maybe like -3. No. +3. Never seen a more intuitive editor, I'll tell you that. I'm not bitter, I'm totally bitter. Okay. Then let's just make it like as tall as we can. 20. The giant tall wall. Character enters. Okay. Script. Apparently, it's just no quick script. Got it. Makes me so mad. Save and play. So I should have gotten collided. Ooh. Hey, you entered me. Collided. Okay. So I don't know when the collided happened. But I should be able... So the zone works is the main point. So I can get rid of my stupid tile script, which I don't need. None. And then I can go to my like SB blob collides. I need to find out how they deal with the trigger. When the trigger character enters, yes. Exit. Example, blank. Let's see if we can look at some zone defense here. Add zone, set zone script. Okay. There's still that problem where my browser just cannot handle me streaming. Thought I had sorted that one out, but apparently not. It seems like when I put it on the screen that's recording, it gets all boop. Google Lens. No, I don't want Lens. So I'm going to read the instructions on the side because it's not working over there. Add tile, syntax, set zone script. What I want to find out is if we're in a zone, is there a target? Maybe there is a target. Hold on a second. I think there's like a target setting. Maybe. If target equals player, then there's no brackets in here. Okay, so there's not target. If if there's like a target. I'm gonna find the reserved words. Move player. Syntax. There's player and there's self. So these are the data types. string number, Boolean coordinate, color, entity, array, codex, and null. It doesn't look like there's a target of any sort. So there's no way for me to know the object that hits. Don't think. I don't think I can do that either. Yeah, I don't think so. So I'd have to make some kind of like weird comparison between the two, just to see if they're inside one thing is inside the other thing, which I should already know. I should already be able to know that because I've collided with the zone. So how does that work? Zone. Let's go look at zones again. Remove zone, enable zone. Scripting reference. Not like instructions on how zones work. Tutorials. So zones won't help. That is so obnoxious. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to say if self dot and do this. We're going to make this code for the tile, I guess. I want to see if we can see if the player is on a tile. So tile. Tile has types, core, direction, objects, characters. Okay. I think there's a contains method. So I think I can do if self else self dot characters. I don't know if this is going to work. I doubt it. There's no contains. Okay. Array. It's got to be a contains. Oh, okay. So you can iterate through variables using array for loop to check if it contains a certain. Come on, though. There's no like contains. Push front, push back. So they have insert, remove, erase, and clear, and size. They do not have a contains. I mean, this is going to push me over the edge. I think that'll work. If print, it is character. I can't believe I just allowed myself to deal with this crap before. This stuff just really bugs me. In this case, it's like less about what I know, and it's more about what this can't do. Like, oh, I just don't know the method for doing it contains. Like, no, they just don't. I mean, you just gotta hand code it. It's not. I'm sorry, I'm not that person. Make your own contains method. Why? Why can't they just rely on the tools that I'm using to have a contains method? A fundamental method that everybody uses in every modern language. I mean, maybe C doesn't have a contains method. I don't know. I'll bet they do by now. I got some library you include. Let me get rid of my zone because it's not going to help me. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. Yeah. So let's see if we do it like right there, maybe. Character enters tile. I mean, I could make my own contains method. I'm just super annoyed that I have to. That's all I'm saying. These are things I shouldn't have to go and like create my own method for. Okay, so I was gonna do one other thing I forgot to do, but it is character. Okay. Okay. It is player. All right. So then we're going to set a value. I'll do is player. I swear if I made something like this, I just would use the language that's part of the engine, you know? Now we're going to say, if not, no, I don't know if they can do nots here. Is player. I think so. My take is this. This is my professional opinion. Take it or leave it. If you're gonna invent something new, if you're gonna tread new ground with a language, don't freaking use a programming language that you type. That's it. I think that the intent originally was to have people use these nodes. That's great. Then have them use the nodes. And if someone wants to write code, then let them use the language that's part of the freaking engine. Use GD script or use C# or something. Don't make these nodes tied into a completely made up language that has so many limitations to it. There. I'd say end rant, but this is never going to end for me. And it definitely won't end well. It just drives me nuts, man. These are like, it fuels this hate fire in me that makes me want to do this in the way that I feel is the right way. Then I can learn the lesson the hard way and why people don't do it that way. And then I can say, oh, that's why he did it that way. Monster collides. When the tools that you're using get in the way of some of the most basic level of testing for a game, that is a problem. Oh, but Monster, the problem is really that you're just trying to do your expectations are too high. Really? Array contains? Really? Basic collisions? Really? Okay. Okay. So, good. I have a way to trigger a monster collision. I don't have a way of having the monster know that it was collided with. But there's only one thing that's not a player that would collide with it, which is the monster. So, we can go back to our script, which is gonna be something. I think it's New Death Move, what I was using. And we need to add a property to this object. So the property is going to be add property current speed. Value is going to be, so it's going to start at 16. What is this? I can change the type. Look at that. The value is going to be 16. What? The current speed value 16. And then we'll do how do we get properties? Need to do is a character, so I don't think this search is very helpful. Character, enemies, character ID, properties. Get off my property! Properties, direction, directive, property. It's just dot property. Okay. This would be way easier if there was auto completion. You know what has auto completion? Every other language. Even Lua. Sorry, I'm just rage coding now. Dot property. I should be able to mess with the current speed. That took a long time to save. Check it out now. Motzi's coding right about now. Motzi's coding. Entity death. Look, people, I can hand code too. I knew how to code back in the 90s. I am just so fucking annoyed. For the moment, let's just make it slow down a lot, just for funsies. Don't really know what I want to do with it. That's right. That's right, kiddies. I grew up in an era where we did not have auto-completion, so I knew how to code things from memory. And boy, were those the days, having to remember how to write code. And I had a 200-page booklet where I had to physically look up methods. I mean, this is only slightly better because at least I have internet I can search. This is sort of marginally improved approach. Hey, why didn't you slow down? Hey, you're supposed to slow down. Why did you not slow down? I know why. I have to put this thing in here. I don't know if this is going to cause the entire thing to slow down too. It might. think the thing that really made me hate the idea of being a coder was in the early days of coding. I mean, the concept of coding it took a while for my brain to click with. I'd used tools that I felt like were easier. But even then, it was like, oh, I got to type all this out. And oh, if you make one little mistake in your typing, you spend hours trying to figure out like, oh, where's the one character I had wrong? I hated that so much. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Okay. So now I could make something where like the speed ramps up. So I can make like a counter. I wonder how frequently this runs. What did we do? We'll just make a counter. We'll see what happens if I make this counter. So counter equals 1. And on every iteration, we'll do counter plus equals 1. I could do a UI. Hey kitties. Here's how Uncle Motzi does UI in the game. This is my professional skills coming out, using esoteric tools to make stuff. Let's make a whole new UI. A whole new UI. Don't you dare close your eyes. We want to do widgets. Oh, I already have one. It's the Doom counter. Cool. Do I have any scripts on this? No. Show frame. I just gotta remember how I put the freaking thing out. Cut my Doom into pieces. This is my last retort. Okay, so how did I put the UI up? That's what I gotta remember. Level loader? Load level. Load map. Spawn location. No. Set up items. Set up monsters. Set up keys. Start. That started the game. Stop player movement. No. Take key. Trigger help. Trigger help. Win. Win. Consume row. Dead. Death melt. NPC. Death timer. There it is. How do I do this? Global property. Doom. Doom equals level 4. Okay. Speed modifier. Show widget. Doom. While speed is less than 61. Do. Okay. So I can show the widget. Let's steal this stuff here. Wait, no, Doom. Let's just see how fast it takes this thing to get Doomified. Because right now what I want to do, I think, it depends on how fast it moves. I think it'll be something where it'll like, in intervals, it'll increase speed. It's not going to increase speed immediately. Well, I mean, I don't know what the Doom counter is going to do. So we'll show it. We'll see what happens. Good thing I already have a Doom counter. Okay. That's not bad. Oh, look at that. The Doom counter even like associates with how fast the monster's moving. That's pretty darn cool. Okay, so like automatically built in, it'll do what I want. I like that. So then so I need like a doom interval or something, right? Or a speed interval. And then we'll have to have a speed count or like a counter. We will have to use a counter. Right? Because the doom counter, like the bar. I don't want to do this actually. Actually, I actually kind of like the idea that the doom counter just gets faster. So why don't we try this just for like S's and G's? We're gonna do death.property. I don't know if you can do plus equals with these. I mean, it should be able to do it as a regular programming language. So I don't know if it can mutate the value there or not. I don't think +1 is going to make it feel like it gets that much faster, but we'll find out. Now, what's interesting about this is the way the doom counter is working. The move command essentially is the waiter. It pauses until the character. Whoa, my gosh! Oh my god! Okay. Oh my gosh! Okay. That's not terrible. But I need to reset the doom counter, right? So then the new death move. No, the blob collides. We have to reset the death counter. How do I do that? So when we do this, we have to set this down to 1 or 0. We'll 0 it out, right? Then what should happen is it'll constantly be like resetting. And then just for like, you know, a little bit of sanity, we'll take this actually this is a collide thing, right? So then I should be able to put another one here. Where's my screen? We'll put one there. Maybe we'll put one here. Or here. Yeah. We'll put one there. We'll have like this idea that the thing is running into something that's causing it to slow down each time. Okay. What is unsaved? Comes running at me. Boom. And it starts resetting again. Doot, 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 doot. Boom. Slows down. Okay, good. I've got time. And then catch me. Ooh, I don't know if I can get there fast enough. I'm getting a little nervous. Okay, we can do this. Oh my god! Oh god. Oh, it's terrifying. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not going to make it. Oh man. I have this, like, that made me really nervous. Just knowing that it's slowly speeding up behind me and that it's going to catch me. Okay. So that, I think that's a component of fun. I don't know if other people would have fun with it, but I like it's sort of, it's a little bit too stressful. But you know, I mean, I think it gets to some of the core of what I'm trying to do. So we also want to make sure that when we start this, we start at whatever the start speed should be. But I think that, I mean, that idea is what I'm going for, and I kind of like that. So we're going to start this at the value of 5. And so now we have a very interesting concept here. The monster starts slow, hits some speed bump, and then speeds up. We can do things where, like, if you push something to a certain spot, we'd have to have something that, like, is the noticeable speed bump. It's not like it just stops because it ran into an invisible barrier. There's going to be something that we have to have there to make it feel like it's going to slow down or stop. But right now it's invisible and whatever. So let me see if I can... I don't think I can even make it through this with the thing chasing me, but I'll try. It's not safe. Just if I die, I have to reset it. Oh, I should probably also reset the entity property. Where's my death? When you die, we want to make it reset those values. Okay. Weird button. Okay. Let's try again. So now the doom counter's slow. Coming for me. Yeah. It's a slowdown. And, you know, if you think about, like, setting up the game, you definitely want to start with a much slower roll, right? Now, I think I wasted too much time. So it's probably going to get me. But you never know. Oh god. Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot I have nothing else. I don't have any other speed bumps. Oh no. Okay. So it is achievable at least. I could get somewhere. Why is my thing not working? All right, here we go. Okay, so I think I got that mechanic done. I do want to get back to working on some Alterium Shift stuff, but I'm doing some really stupid, boring stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up a little earlier. Maybe I'll even get to bed at a reasonable time. Who knows? But I got a key component done, which I'm actually happy about. So getting that moment where that thing was chasing me and caused a little bit of anxiety, I think that's like the step of figuring out what makes a game feel fun. You create this sort of pressure, and this is a runner, so you have to create that kind of pressure so that people know, the player knows, hey, I got to keep moving, and you've got all these things you've got to do while you're trying to keep moving. So let's go see if we can just pop over to Mr. Stoff's stream. What he's up to. All right, I'm headed out, y'all. Hope y'all have a good night. We'll go over say hi to Stoff. Take one. And, I'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday, we'll work on Alterium Shift stuff. So, see y'all later. Have a great night. And see you next time.